even if I am right, the attachment to being right causes so much disharmony in a relationship. That attachment to being right is wrong. So, because I'm causing so much disharmony. It's the ego.
From the Big Island of Hawaii, welcome to Aloha Speaks, home of Malama Aloha Pono by Alexander Noman, offering relief for all relationships with a focus on anger assessment and resolve.
Aloha, Alex here once again with Aloha Speaks. And today's topic is why not? Question mark. And sometimes I have parentheses after it, and it says like what? With another question mark. Why not? Like about what? ... and it says reflect! Exclamation point, which equals assess, close parentheses. So why not reflect or assess on a daily basis? Or could be said, why? Why? It's inspired by something I'll get to. The first point being, it's to my benefit. I mean, it's the simplest. Where it comes from, the basic, I just did a video on the basics. It's always about the basics. I was reflecting on my propensity to resist. Every day I resist. I wouldn't know that I have this propensity to resist if I didn't reflect, assess situations as they come by. What inspired this today, taking this tack from where I was going to go, is a story I heard. I was listening to a recent, really current event from Prem Rawat. And he's really good at telling stories that are relevant. And he was talking about the ego. And I couldn't tell where it was going, but it came pretty quick when he was referring to the most powerful aircraft carrier in the world. It was called, I believe it was the Gerald Ford. And one time it was out cruising, and it picked up what it could tell was another craft, large craft. And the captain put out a message that it was coming directly at it and said, I'm not going to tell the story as good as he, but told the other craft to turn 15 degrees north to avoid collision. And the other And the message that came back was, no. You need to turn 15 degrees south. And so the captain had the ego start to flare up and answered, don't you know who I am? I have the ability to pretty much obliterate you. So you better do what I tell you and turn 15 degrees north. And then the message came back. I really think it would be wise for you to turn 15 degrees south, because we're not able to turn 15 degrees north. We're a lighthouse. I just so much could relate. Not to being the lighthouse, to being that ego. The inflated ego that I talk about, because it's always pumping. It's not how I used to be. Recently, I knew that I was right about something I was clear on, and I told someone so. It was like a day or two later, I found out some information that proved that that thing that I was ready to die on that hill, in a sense, right? It wasn't a major thing, but I was just so clear that I was right. And I found out information that proved that I was wrong. It's uncanny. Even if there are times that even if I am right, the attachment to being right causes so much disharmony in a relationship. That attachment to being right is wrong. So, because I'm causing so much disharmony. It's the ego. It's when I'm not feeling the peace that there's a need. I'm the beneficiary of reflection, of assessment. And it's when I'm not feeling that peace that immediately, it's at that time that I need to reflect. Okay, what? So it doesn't matter what the format is. It can be, I talk about, it can be AA's format, it can be Byron Katie's, the work, it can be Malama Aloha Pono. It can be other formats. There are other ones. There's a book. It's called Malama Aloha Pono. It isn't even completed. It's in progress, in process. Just because it's not done, I mean, there's editorial hurdles, there are funding hurdles. That doesn't mean that the system doesn't exist. Those 6 segments are so simple. It's complete. None of them are effective without the first segment, honesty. And it's the most difficult one. In that first segment, part of it is the admitting. That's number 1. It's always, all of the segments work together at the same time. Nothing goes anywhere without the honesty. It's so tricky, and it's so every day, every moment. And yet it's the key that only I can measure, only I can judge or be clear on. Am I being honest with me? Who? Because when I was talking about working with other people in groups, I've worked with up to 100, 80, 90. Even there, we break up into smaller groups, but really clear finding out when I work with, say, 6, 8, 10. It was all about other people validating, because the person who was in the hot seat, having the difficulty breaking through to their own truth, it was the other people that would be going, can't you see? It's like, and they're going like, are you telling me, are you serious? It's like, it was the other people that were going, yeah, you're not seeing this. And finally they would be able to trust that the other people were right. And finally soften up enough to go, wait a second, I am wrong, and break their ego down. It doesn't need, it's not about other people's validation. It's my own honesty that is 100% necessary. That's where the freedom is. That's where the door opens. The simplicity of the 6 segments, I've only, I think, talked about 4. The honesty, the listening is number 2, the assessment. And we haven't gotten really into even the simplicity of the subconscious. I'll say the 5th one. It's about the amendment, making things right in relationships. It's a touchy. It's not that it's touchy. It's that it's misunderstood what that is about. Not apologizing. It's a simple segment. The true relationship, this is all about actually, these relationships with our people is actually, the bottom line is ending up being in that relationship with myself. Because it's I don't like to say the bullseye, the purpose being never losing sight of that purpose being that peace. That's how the reflection started in the beginning, was that, what happened to the gratitude, that peace? And then it comes. It's not that it comes. I come back to it because it's already here. That never changes. It never. It's never anywhere other than inside. So, to me, there is nothing less boring than that. Peace. Until next time, aloha. And to close, clicking on the thumbs up icon supports Aloha Speaks, as well as clicking on the free subscribe tab. Mahalo.